What's good, Duelist family? This your boy Rogue Scientist back to you with another video. Uh, ain't been doing much today. It's really slow, but it's really bright outside too, so very difficult to get a clear picture. But just wanted to do a general discussion and some card tech tips that may help you in terms of get by competitively till you get like the real top dollar cards. One of them, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with. But what if I tell you there are two cards that equal that one card? So the card I'm going to explain to you is Crossout Designator. We already know what that card does. So you pretty much call out a card name and banish one card from your deck with that name, and both players cannot activate the effects of that card with that name until the end phase. So right now, market price is like mid 50s, early 60s, if I'm not mistaken, on TCG. But for those that don't want to shell out $150 on a playset of Crossout Designator and just be like, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and just get one for right now. A one of is pretty much fine. I sold my one copy, but I'm actually in the midst of getting three. But if you get three and want to add these two cards into your deck, by all means. So these two cards I'm going to explain to you that works just like Crossout Designator. If you get them both in your hand, that's fine. If not, don't worry about it. But these two cards I'm going to reveal to you are Foolish Burial and Call by the Grave. So, Rogue Scientist, how does that equal Crossout Designator? Glad you asked. Foolish Burial, you can dump any hand trap from your deck to the graveyard. For example, if you have a Nibiru in your deck, you play Foolish Burial to dump the Nibiru. And then you go about with your plays. If your opponent happens to activate Nibiru in the hand and you got Crossout Designator, just simply activate Call by the Grave to banish your Nibiru that you just dumped off Foolish Burial, so that way your opponent cannot activate the Nibiru in the hand and the effect doesn't go off. So the effect will be nullified because you just banished your own Nibiru out your graveyard. So that is pretty much like a poor man's Crossout Designator that only takes a couple of pennies. But if you get it in your hand, those two cards in your hand, then you have yourself that one Crossout Designator. The only problem is it takes two cards to get that same effect. But I just want to share with you guys that one little tech if you get it. Even if you get three Crossout Designator, you can also add that two card combo too, making it a fourth Crossout Designator. So there are ways you can go about negating effects of hand traps without the use of Crossout Designator, although we only have one Call by the Grave at 1. It'll be nice when the January ban list comes up that we either get 2 or 3. How likely that's going to happen? It's a very slim chance that we may even get it at 2, if any. But also, let's talk about how to get cards in hand. Most people know me as that I am also the innovator and the master at draw power. I can draw unlimited amount of cards regardless of the turn. I can have one and still draw unlimited amount of cards. So one of my decks was the Dark Gaia OTK. So this two card combo has given me, and with the new stuff that came out recently, is going to make it even more broken. because I can get way more cards in my hand if it don't get ash. But like I said, Crossout Designator for the ash. So so this 2-card +6 +7 combo. Even if you have multiple copies of this one card, so let's just say a +2 to +4, all the way up to +6. But we're just gonna go to like +4. I mean, 4-card combo is gonna get you like a +8 to 10 cards in your hand. And yeah, I had a phone call. I'll call him back later. So the 2 cards I'm going to discuss are Gift Card and Hopeful Escape. So Gift Card is pretty much a trap card, normal trap card that lets your opponent gain 3,000 life points. This trap card is only played in one deck, and one deck only that I've seen is only a gift card, Nurse Burn. Because if you activate the card and Nurse on the field or bad reaction to some Mochis on the field, your opponent takes 3,000 to the face. But me, I use it for its full extent. I will use Gift Card to give my opponent the 3,000 life points. Or if I have multiples, he'll get upwards of 6,000. So for an example, if my opponent has 14,000 life points, I'm going to cut my deck. I'm going to cut my life points in half to where I'm like in the low 4,000s. So with that, he's at 14,000 to my 4K. And I activate 2 Hopeful Escapes. So Hopeful Escapes is a normal trap. You pay 1,000 life points, and you draw cards equal to the difference between your life points and 1 card for every 2,000 difference. So if I give him 2 gift cards and I found some way to have my life points, for example, like Dirge or just take a beating here and there, I'm at 4,000. Plus, I paid 2,000 for Hopeful Escape. So you pretty much can do the math there. So my opponent's at 14,000 to my 2,000. That's a difference of 12,000 life points. So for 1 Hopeful Escape, you're drawing 6 cards. 6 cards off 1 Hopeful Escape. If you activate 2 Hopeful Escapes, you're getting a total of 12 cards in your hand on your opponent's turn. And 9 times out of 10, I play hand traps that stops battle. So in this Dark Gaia deck, I ran a playset of 3 gift cards and 3 Hopeful Escapes just for that purpose only. So my opponent looked at me confused as, you really gonna give me 3,000 life points? I'm like, yeah. But what they don't know is I had a setup plan in the end because I played Dark Gaia OTK. So what I just give them would easily drop to 0 in a matter of 1 battle phase. And I really don't care how much life points I give you, because you're going to be OTK right then and there. Even if you had 30,000 life points, you're getting OTK'd and that's it. So that's how that deck works. And I will post a deck list on that shortly. But it's going to be more updated now since we're getting a new hero support like Malicious Bane and all the stuff reprinted in Brothers of Legend. You heard me. In Brothers of Legend, we getting all the evil hero reprints, Malicious Bane, Dusted Gold, and even Magician Souls and Brothers of Legend coming December 1st. That is the TCG release for us. So, I will be putting that deck together with the new stuff and the new updates, and I'm gonna run that engine. So just think of it. If 1 Hopeful Escape with a difference of 12,000 life points would give you 6 cards. Even if you draw 3, that's fine. So, but just, can you fathom 1 card can plus you 6? Nah, you really can't. I mean, I couldn't either, but when I figured out that combo, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I don't care about giving my opponent 6 to 9,000 life points just so I can plus 6 to plus 18 if I had 3 in my hand. put me at 1,000 life points, but if he's gonna die in the next turn, he's gonna die in the next turn. That's all I care about. But if drawing your entire deck, I mean, you can also use that in the Exodia combo too. So, called Hopeful Exodia. I have a deck list on that too. That does work, but the win ratio is like pretty low. But yeah, I want to discuss those two card combos. These two equal Crossout Designator and the Hopeful Escape gift card combo. And also another card I want to also discuss is Saryuja's Shackles. And what is a normal trap card. It is also, it's pretty much a Saryuja Skull Dread in the form of a trap. So you can also use this to gain hand advantage over your opponent, especially if he link summons. So you can side deck this if you don't want to run Reckless Greed and skip your draw phase twice. You can run Saryuja Shackles instead. So for a Tri-Brigade player, if he summons like in Link 4 Omen, you pretty much can draw 4, and if you got more than 2 cards in your hand, you got to send 2 to the bottom of the deck. So the worst time to play this card is if you have no cards in your hand and your opponent has a Link 2. You draw 2, and guess what happens to those 2 cards? They go to the bottom of your deck. And you back to where you started. You just wasted a Saryuja Shackles. So your best time is to activate the card if your opponent has a Link 3 or more, and you have at least 1 or 2 cards in your hand. That's the best time to activate Saryuja Shackles. And it's a hard once per turn. So you can pretty much go Trap Trick Set and then Res Shackles. And here's a nice little spice for you guys too. And you, as most duelists know me, I have a huge dislike for Ash. I hate Ash. So I hate Ash with a passion, honestly. So, but I got something that you may love and probably know about it, but I'm just going to explain it. Trap Trick is one of the most versatile traps that you can use, especially in a trap heavy deck. So, like one incident, I'm playing Layer Control. I have a Layer Darkness Control deck, and it's super poly based without super poly. And reason being because I run 3 Falling Above Highs, so that's my super poly in the form of a monster. So what I would do is if they go, because I play Fusion Deployment and reveal one of the fusion monsters that had Ahas as a material, and my opponent, what he did was he asked the Fusion Deployment. So in response, I chained Trap Trick and set Witch Strike face down. Banish one and set Witch Strike face down. And in resolution to his Ash going off, I said resolution, play Witch Strike, because it can be activated on the turn it's set. So since he negated my search with Ash, guess what happens to his field in hand? Goes straight to the grave. Everything in his hand and the field goes straight to the grave because you want to Ash. So Trap Trick can get you one or two things. It can get you so much advantage. It's ridiculous. Even if you just want to do something like you messing with me, I give you another instance. So as Chris mentioned in his previous video that I'm a master of burn decks. So My opponent feather dusters or twin twist. If your opponent feather dusters or twin twisters, your back 2-row cards. Try these instead. But I'm gonna tell you, the one round that I had when my opponent feather dusters my back 2-row cards, or at least one, I played Trap Trick, and you wouldn't believe what card I set. I set a Kazaki self-destruct button. And what Kazaki self-destruct button does is you inflict 1,000 points of damage to the person that destroyed it. So I played Trap Trick, banish a Kazaki self-destruct button and set it. And then this Feather Duster has to go off. And since he popped the Kazaki self-destruct button, guess who gets 1,000 slapped to the face? My opponent, just for activating Feather Duster. So that's one of those shits and giggles type of plays that I like to do and laugh at, even if I don't win the round, but I won the counter, because regardless of what you do, I will always get the last laugh. So, just little good tech cards that I would like to explain in terms of counter, burn, and now you know my secrets of how I'm drawing so many cards in one turn. Just that 2-card combo is amazing. If you get a chance, try it out. I mean, some things you look at it on paper and you be like, well, it's good in this deck, but why don't you just think outside the box and say, what if I actually do this for him and then this happens? And 9 times out of 10, it will work, but it's up to you to make it work. What else to discuss? What else is in this little head of mine? For you Flwanderige players, I got good one tech card for you that will also help you and also shut down your opponent for playing spell cards and trap cards. So, Flwanderige has the engine and the mechanic to normal summon as many times as they want. So, my Flwanderige deck profile on Dueling Book, instead of me going the route everyone's going, I'm going a different route. So, I would go the 2 monsters, the Eaglin and the other one that searches out the Impen. And Impen gives you, I think, 2 or 3 additional normal summons, if I'm not mistaken. And then I will summon on my opponent's turn. I'll summon on my opponent's turn the 2 birds, and then tribute all 3 of them for the Wicked Avatar. The Wicked Avatar is a level 10 Dark Fiend with question mark attack and defense. What he does is his summon, I believe, cannot be negated. No, it doesn't say that. No, to summon him requires 3 tributes. That's what it says. And then when he is summoned, you can activate this effect. Your opponent cannot activate spells and traps for until 2 of their turns. So since it's your opponent's turn, he's locked out on spells and traps for 2 of his turns. It doesn't say 2 turns, it's just 2 of his turns. If I summon it on my turn, it's still 2 of his turns. If I summon it on his turn, that's that current turn and the end of the next turn. So he's locked out for 2 turns of activating spells and traps. That is a good mechanic for you're playing against Ellic. So you do your penguin summoning combo. You just pop out a Wicked Avatar. You ain't got to keep the bird boss monster on the field just so you can have some type of protection. Just go ahead, tribute his ass and the other 2 for Wicked Avatar. Your opponent's locked out of spells and traps. And Eldritch players, I hate to be you because you're locked out of spells and traps for 2 of your turns and you're going to get slapped in the face. So you have to depend on that elixir and send spells and traps to summon him and protect you. But in this case, it's not going to happen because Wicked Avatar is 100 points. His attack is equal to the attack of the highest attack monster on the field plus 100. So if your Elix monster comes out at 3,500 attack, guess what Avatar's attack is? 36. So you getting slapped regardless. Regardless of what monster you come out with the biggest and beefiest attack, Wicked Avatar will always be the 100 attack points greater. So only way you getting rid of Wicked Avatar is you got to negate his effects. But since you locked out of your spells and traps for 2 turns, you getting slapped. And you're taking 100 points damage or direct damage. When I go ahead with another setup and bring out Elpin, their boss monster with 27, you get slapped around with the 27 and Avatar's a 28. So take everything with a grain of salt. So with that being said, I'm just going to leave you guys with those tips right there. And there is plenty of more to come. I am not done. So I'm going to sign off. But remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to your boy Rogue Scientist for more crazy and combo oriented IQ 200 plus tech. And also ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on updates and more video content that I post out. Alright, I'm signing off. See you guys on the next clip. Alright, peace.